Hey there, I'm Lance and I'm a gamer.
And I'm Sam, and I'm a non-gamer.
And we are Love to Hate, where we help gamers find great games to play with non-gamers.
And today we're taking a look at Gachijo by Banana Moon Games.
Gachijo, the Four Ninjas and the Castle of Treasures is the full name here. This is a game that is going to be coming to crowdfunding here in the very near future, so make sure to check out the link down below in the description of this video after you watch it. Now with this one, this is a really unique and clever game. This is a game in which you are going to be a ninja sneaking throughout a castle that has shifting walls. The walls will be moving in this game because the board in this game is transparent, and it's going to have marked lines on it which represent the walls of the castles. And you and the other players will be moving these transparent sheets to move the walls, which are going to restrict you and the other people playing the game, your movements throughout the castle. Now you want to move cleverly, trying to pick up treasures, avoiding other ninjas, and avoiding the guardians of the treasure. Let me go down to the table and show you how this one works, and then we'll come back and share our thoughts on it as a gamer and non-gamer. All right, I have Gachijo on the table here. Let me show you guys about this Japanese-themed game in which you are going to be a ninja sneaking through a castle trying to get these different treasures over here. Now, I do want to make sure you understand that everything you see here is prototype, so the final artwork, components, and maybe even some of the rules might change once it's released from crowdfunding. That being said, what you have here with this game, you do have a central board that's going to have an overlay on it that is transparent, as you can see here, with a few things already printed on it. And then underneath that, you're going to have multiple other transparent overlays. You've got this blue one that you can see here, and then you have a red one. And in addition to that, you are going to have a castle floor that you will be playing on top of. And you can see this one is floor B here. We're going to put it like that. You do have lots of other floors to play on, though. And each floor is going to provide a different challenge. This is floor A that is pretty basic, has some secret passageways on it. And then you've got some other floors that are going to just dramatically change up the gameplay. So it adds lots of replayability here with these different floors. I'm going to go ahead and get those off to the side, though, and reset this back up so that you can see how this game works. Because with this game, you're going to be moving these floors up, down, left, or right, as you can see that I'm doing here, getting this set up. And that's going to change the way that you move throughout the castle, because these lines that you see on here, these are the walls of the castle, and they are shifting walls, which are going to change your pathway in this game. Now, you also have little standees to represent yourself and the other players. You've got lots of tokens. You've got a couple of bags that you're going to be drawing things out of throughout the course of the game. I'll bring those back into the frame here in a minute. And then you do have player boards as well as a flag that you get to raise up whenever you have finished the challenge for what you're trying to be doing in this game that will bring the game to an end. Now, how this game is going to work, on a round, you are going to take 3 movements. And what that means is that you are either going to move yourself or move the floors, shifting the walls and everything. You're going to take 3 actions, and it can be any combination of those 3, but you've got to at least move yourself once and change the walls once. Your third action could be one of the other 2. So when you move yourself, you're going to move yourself as far as you can within a given space, not going over any of the walls. And if you want to pick something up, you have to stop, like one of the treasures. One of the crystals or the weapons or tools icons, you can just pick it up by going over that space. But if you're wanting to pick up one of the treasures, which is one of the most important things to do throughout the course of the game, you actually have to stop there. So I can move as far as I want within my given space. So I might move to there, for instance. Now, these spaces right here that are darker, that's on top of a roof. So in order to get on top of that roof, I'm going to need to use a tool, which I would draw from this bag. And you get to draw from the tool bag if you get on this space right here. And you would reach into the bag and you would pull out a tool. And your tool here will be something that lets you, for instance, this is like a grappling hook. It's going to let me go over these walls. So for instance, if I started here and I moved forward there and I wanted to get over this wall right here, I would need to spend a grappling hook to be able to get on the other side. Some of the other tools, let's pull some more out of this bag here to show you. This is like a bamboo snorkeling tube here, and that's going to allow me to go into these water spaces because otherwise I cannot breathe underwater to pick up this treasure right here unless if I have a snorkel. And when I use one of those tools, I get to put on the corresponding little sleeve here on my miniature, my standee, to indicate that I'm in the water and I am breathing underwater, and that's okay because I have my snorkeling tube thing. This right here is going to act as camouflage, and so I would then put on the matching little sleeve as well for that. And when I am camouflaged, I can't be attacked by the other ninjas because you will be attacking other ninjas with weapons, and I'll show you that here in just a second. This little icon, this tool right here, is going to protect me from the guardians of the treasures, which are like little monsters that are coming to get me. And I want to try to avoid them because they will take back the treasures that I am trying to steal from this castle. So you want to try to avoid them or use the tools to be able to camouflage yourself. Now this is the rope ladder, and that's how I could get on top of the rooftop here to be able to move around on the rooftop. Otherwise you can't even go into those spaces. And then you also have some medicine that will allow you to heal yourself, because if you get attacked and you are hurt, and you have to put on one of these sleeves, and that would make you only have 2 actions until you use medicine to heal yourself. So those are all the tools. Now let's get back to what you're doing on your turn. So again, you have 3 actions. You got to move yourself at least once, and you got to change the floor at least once. Your third action can be either one of those 2 things. Now, moving the floor, you are going to shift either the red or blue sleeve, the transparent sleeve here, either left or right, up or down 1 space. And so 1 space, you can judge that by looking at the lines, and we're going to move it to the left just 1 space, and there we go. And so I've shifted the floors, and that's going to change up how I move about the castle. It's also going to change how the other players are going to be able to move throughout the castle. And so that's a way to kind of really shake things up throughout the course of the game and give yourself more opportunities. Now, after I have done all of my actions, if I've stopped any of my movements on these treasure spaces, then I pick up the corresponding treasure, because what I'm trying to do in this game is to complete a checklist of things that I'm trying to collect. And you're going to decide before the beginning of the game which one of these 4 options you're going to be working with. So you've got option 1, which is the easiest difficulty level, where you just need 2 treasure types, any 2 of these different treasures, 2 crystals, 2 of these orange tokens that are way up here in the top, and I'll explain how you get those here in just a second. And then you want to get back to your base. Whereas if you go with option 4, you're going to need all 4 treasures, 4 crystals, 2 of these orange tokens that show this symbol, which is how whenever you attack another player successfully, and then 2 on this side as well, and you get those whenever you summon one of these guardians to capture another player. And then that would be how you could get back to your base and end the game. So you got lots of different ways to play this game with differing degrees of difficulty with this one. So again, trying to pick up these treasures, trying to pick up the crystals if I move through a crystal. Let's talk about the weapons real quick. If you move over a weapon icon, you're going to get to draw out of the red bag, which is going to let you draw a weapon. Now, you would only draw 1, but I'm going to show you all of the different weapons here. Let's start with the claw. So if you get the claw here, you're going to be able to attack somebody if you are directly next to them, left, right, up, or down. And so I can claw this red player right here with my claws. Now, if I have a ninja star, I have to be at least 1 space away from them. And as long as I have a direct line of sight, I can throw this ninja star at them. Now, you can't throw across these high walls because they're too high, but you can throw across these short walls because you can see over it, and you can throw that ninja star and hit them still. Now, the katana sword here, you got to be diagonal, and it can't be through walls again. So like this, for instance, I am diagonal from them, and I can cut them with the katana sword. Now, when you're attacking, if your opponent has one of these smoke bombs, then they can throw that down in the middle of your attack, and then poof, they're gone, and they're going to be able to teleport anywhere they want to, and your attack is null and void. Otherwise, if you do one of those attacks and your opponent does not have one of those smoke bombs, then you've successfully attacked them. You will get to take one of these orange tokens on this side, which is one of the requirements of the things that you need to try to collect throughout the course of the game. And your opponent is going to be injured, and they will only have 2 actions on their turn until they heal themselves. So that's how the attacking goes. And the last thing to really kind of cover in this game is if at any time on this center space you're able to line up the yin and yang here, getting the red and blue in the same spot like you can see right there, then I can spend 1 crystal on my turn and summon a Guardian of the Treasures. And there's a deck of cards here, deck of cards, excuse me. We're gonna flip over one of the cards and it's gonna show me Oni here, and we're gonna pull him off of this board right here. There he is. He's gonna enter the game on this space, and he's going to move this number of spaces trying to capture one of the other players, and you get to control his movement when you summon him. And so he's going to move, again, he moves exactly like the players do. He can move as freely in a given space up to the walls. And so he's going to basically try to get to one of the other players and capture them. And if that happens, then they have to go to this board over here, and they have to forfeit one of their treasures. And then the player who summoned the Guardian gets to take one of these orange tokens on the yin and yang side to show that they have successfully captured another one of the players. Now, when a player gathers all of the things that they need to gather, 4 different treasures, crystals, you keep your tools right here, your weapons right here, and those orange tokens right here. Then you get back to your base and you get to raise your flag, and that indicates that the game has come to an end, and you're going to score everything that you have on your board. These crystals are going to give you 5 points apiece. The treasures are going to give you 20 points apiece. Those orange tokens are going to give you 10 points apiece. Any tools that you have left over are 2 points apiece. The weapons are 2 points apiece as well. And then at any point through the game, if you had something bad happen to you, like another player attacked you, or you did get captured by one of those guardians, then you're going to take one of these lucky frog tokens and you're going to place it face down on your board. You're never going to look at it throughout the course of the game, but it's going to have a number on it that ranges from 0 to 15. And those are points for you at the end of the game. And so it's kind of like a consolation prize, but may not be anything. It could be 0 points, or it could be 15 points. That's pretty nice. Anyway, you're going to keep those right here on the top of your board. At the end, you're just going to count up how many points you have. Whoever has the most points is going to be the winner. And it may not necessarily be the person who got out. Although if you do get out of the castle, you do get 30 extra points. So it probably could be you if you have gotten everything that you needed. And you're going to get a lot of points that way anyhow. So that is how you play the game. Let's go back up top and share our thoughts on this one.
And we're back, and now we're going to share our thoughts on Gachijo from a gamer and non-gamer's perspective. I'm going to go ahead and move this box down. It is quite big. But yeah, this...
Very thin.
It is very thin. Yeah, I don't know if you've seen it, but it's a pretty thin game. But anyhow, if you watch the rules portion of this video, there's a lot of unique and clever things about this game. We've not really ever reviewed or previewed a game quite like this here on Love to Hate. So I'm very interested to get your thoughts, Sam, as a non-gamer. What did you think seeing this out on the table, kind of wrapping your head around the concept of you've got these transparent sheets that you're shifting left and right, up and down. What was all of that like for you?
At first, it did seem like a lot because there is, I mean, the board itself is pretty visual.
It's a moving part, quite literally.
Yeah, and you have different cards and different abilities and things like that. Excuse me. And typically, fighting type games are not my cup of tea. War games or
skirmish games.
Yeah, and that's what I thought it looked like. And it is that to an extent.
It
but
has
that's
a
not
little
the whole
bit of
game.
that, yeah.
So that makes a difference, I think.
Yeah, this is definitely much more having to be clever with your movement in this game, right? Like trying to think about, okay, if I move that, then that lets me move all the way there, and if I move that there, then that blocks them off. Like that's kind of what this game is.
Yeah.
More so than it ever is like a skirmish or anything like that, kind of a dueling game of that sorts. Now, you do have a little bit of fighting in this game, right? Like,
but it's, I mean, like you could almost avoid it the whole game if you tried hard enough.
Yeah.
But yes, yes, it is there.
Right. Now, I think the very interesting thing with this game for me is it uses this concept of the transparent sheets acting as the walls that you're moving about, but then it also adds into it that you've got parts of the board where you're going to be underwater and you need like a little snorkeling bamboo snorkel to be able to be on that part, or you're going to be on the rooftop and you need a ladder to get up there, right? Like they've not only done just the transparent movement of the walls, but there's also the 3 levels, right? Like underwater, the surface, and then the rooftop. So I thought that was just a really unique and cool thing to do with this idea of the game. But let's talk about the gameplay experience. What was the gameplay experience like for you?
It was, I mean, it is very much like a maze. You know, you're trying to figure out what you need and what direction you need to go. So you're not always necessarily looking for the exit, but you are looking for the best route to get what you want and what you're going to pass on the way there. So in that aspect, it was pretty easy to understand what your goal was.
Yes.
You just had to figure out what's going to be best for me to try to collect and what then is my next goal.
Yeah, and it is a maze. It is like trying to figure out how can I get from point A to point B. But like you said, you want to pick up stuff along the way too. Like you need the tools, you need the weapons. And so it's also about how can I make sure to cover all my bases to prevent from being attacked or to get to attack if the opportunity arises. So like you're trying to be efficient and cover all your bases while also trying to maneuver your way throughout this maze. And I thought all those things kind of intertwined together to make a really unique and clever gaming experience. One unlike anything that I've ever experienced before. And then you throw in the fact that you have all those different castle boards that I showed you in the rules portion of the video. I can't honestly remember how many there are, but you need to check out the campaign page because there's a lot of details about that. And that just adds to the replayability with this game because none of them are alike. They're all incredibly different. And you're going to have a different experience playing on each different one. So you definitely want to check that out. But then, you can also fluctuate with how difficult of a game do you want to play?
Yeah.
Are you wanting to be just, let's get those treasures and a couple of crystals and get out? Or do you want to go, all the way to the max with this one? You can do that. You've got the flexibility with it. So really interesting and quite unique, innovative game here. Gachijo. I hope I'm saying that right. 4 Ninjas and the Castles of Treasures. One you would recommend playing with non-gamers?
Yeah, I think it's a good one.
All right, well, there you have it. That's our thoughts here on this particular game from Banana Moon Games. Again, it is running on crowdfunding here very soon, so make sure to check out that link down below in the description of this video after you watch it.
Make sure to like and subscribe and push that bell button so you get notifications of all our new content.
I'm Lance.
I'm Sam.
And we are Love to Hate, where we try to bridge the gap between gamers and non-gamers. We'll catch you next time.